Alien factions gather light from a white dwarf star at the end of the universe in Last Light. Thank you for joining me here at Tantrum House Studio D. I'm Kevin DELP. Last Light is a fast-paced 4X game for 2 to 4 players. It plays in about 45 to 75 minutes. It's designed by Roy Canaday from the Dice Tower, and it's being published by Gray Fox Games. Now they're launching it on Gamefound. They sent us a prototype to look at. I've been able to play it a few times now at different player counts, so let's dive in. The main board has planets on top of a rotating board that you'll be exploring. Players will be in control of a fleet of ships, but they only start with a small one at the beginning of the game. In a 4X game, you are expanding, exploring, exploiting, and exterminating. In Last Light, you'll be able to do all of these at lightning speed. That's because players have a hand of identical action cards, and they'll simultaneously play one of them, reveal them at the same time, and most of the actions you can just do and not have to wait. Let's go through each of those actions now. There's research to gain and deploy tech cards. These tech cards can upgrade your ships with abilities and mods and even give your alien civilization special benefits. Mining allows you to get resources based on where your constructs are. You can build ships and constructs with the construct action card. Trade can do a bunch of different things, but you can only pick 2 of them. Command is the way to move your ships and attack your opponents. And then refresh helps you unexhaust tech cards and get your action cards back into your hand. And also it is a way to gain light based on different things like having constructs at certain planets. Now gaining light is the way to win the game. Whoever can get to 20 light first will win. Now, your refresh card stays down in front of you when you play it until all other players have played their refresh card. And then there's some end of the round things that will happen, like each ship at the dwarf star in the middle of the board will gain 1 light. Some tech cards also give you light, and there's a few exploration tokens that have light on them too. Some of the planets will give you light when you mine them, and turning in 4 units that you've conquered during the game will also get you a light. So there's quite a few ways of gaining light, which is how you win. Also, at the end of the round, the boards will rotate. This really shakes up the board state, so some ships will be closer to your opponent's ships, which will then be easier to get to them to attack them. Moving around the board is important. At the beginning of the game, your ships can only move 1 space at a time, whether they're small, medium, or large. So mods or other abilities that let them move extra spaces will be extremely beneficial. Getting to a planet to explore or even the exploration tokens are key to winning the game. You can't just build your empire in your little corner of the universe and then hope to swoop in and do a bunch of stuff at the end of the game. It's going to be too late by then. Throughout the game, there will be a lot of attacking, but the battles are fast. The attacker, the one who played the command card, will roll dice based on their size ships in that space. They're trying to roll successes. The defending player is not going to roll or do anything. It's just going to be a hit or a miss. Now, if a ship is destroyed, the attacking player will claim that ship and put it in their graveyard. And hopefully, you can trade in those ships for light once you get 4 ships. Another interesting thing about Last Light is the asymmetrical alien factions. There's quite a few of them in the game, and they are all pretty powerful. Some of my faves are the ones that give you extra light, or immediately build a construct, or even move faster around the board. They all have flavor text on the back of their faction card that tells you more about that alien race. I also like that there are multiple actions that you can activate on the action cards. It does take some planning to make sure you're getting resources before you play the build card that lets you build your ships and things. And playing the command card at the right time can get you lots of light. If you can make it to the dwarf star in the middle of the board with all your ships there at the end of the round, they'll gain you light as well. One small critique are the icons. They can sometimes be mistaken for each other, not only because they're small on some of the tokens that are on the board, but also they're a little similar in the design themselves. So what kind of people are going to like Last Light? Let me break down 8 different areas. Number 1, you like simultaneous action selection. This makes the game keep moving with very little slowdown. Number 2, you like planning. I just mentioned the importance of that just a second ago. Number 3, you're okay with being attacked and attacking. Ships are going on and off the board all the time, and there's really no way to defend. Number 4, you like players having different powers right from the start of the game. Some of the factions seem really powerful. Number 5, you're okay with some randomness. For example, you might get resources from an exploration token, but someone else might get a ship, and someone else might even get a light. The planetary exploration tokens are random too, and the tech cards. Number 6, you like 4X type games where you're exploring a universe, expanding your fleet of ships, gaining resources, and killing your opponents and things. On top of all of that, it plays super fast too. Usually 4X games take quite a bit longer to play. Number 7, the theme of gathering light from a dwarf star works well in the sci-fi genre. Number 8, it's going to be a little bit more subjective, the components. Since we have a prototype, the final version is definitely going to be different, but you can get the general idea with the ships and the planets and the overall design. Well, I hope those 8 things were very helpful for you. If you have any questions about those, please let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them for you in the coming days. We'd also love for you to hit that like button on this video and subscribe to our channel, Tantrum House. Now let me talk about my experience of actually playing Last Light. First, let's talk about setup. Setup, there's a lot of stuff to put on the board and your player boards. You have the planets on the main board, you have all your ships, fleets, you have asteroids you're putting on the board, you have dice and other components like resources, you're placing out exploration tokens, and you have these other exploration tokens that are actually going on the actual planets, so that when your ship flies into that space, you turn it over and you're seeing what you're going to get as a one-time benefit, and then later if you mine it, you're going to get extra benefits like that. I played this game with 3 players and 4 players. I say setup's going to be very similar, but there's going to be maybe a little bit more asteroids out, because asteroids actually block places for people to actually fly into. You can't go in those spaces, so it takes a little bit longer to maybe get to certain spaces on the board. It's very easy to teach because of the action cards. Everyone starts with the same action cards. Everyone has the same action cards, and those are very easy to go through, teach what each one of those does, and then there's a couple other little things like how does the battle work and things like that, and then you're pretty much ready to play. Overall, for setup, the table presence is a lot going on, and I would say most of the gameplay is happening on the actual main game board. There are things going on in front of you with your player board, with putting card abilities, ship abilities, and mods and things like that, but most of the action's happening on the main board. And I'd say it takes up a regular table size with that. It plays fast. Even at different player counts because of the simultaneous play. It slows down a little bit for the battles. The battles are when you're going to be rolling dice, and if there's multiple battles going on, it's going to take just a little bit longer during those turns. That usually happens closer to the end of the game because more ships are out, so more battles are happening. Also, when you're moving a lot of ships around, you might be yourself moving 4, 5, 6 ships. Someone else might also be doing that. So if multiple people are playing command cards, which makes you move and then doing battles, that sort of turn could take a little bit longer. Another time a turn takes a little bit longer are the tech cards. You're reading what those tech cards do, and you're deciding which ones to keep, which ones to get rid of. So if someone plays that card that gives them tech cards, the research action, then that turn might take a little bit longer as well. I really like figuring out the best ways to get light. My experience with that in the game is enjoyable for me. I like which ways am I going to go to these different planets, or am I going to try and go to the middle of the game board to get light with the dwarf star at the middle? Figuring that out is really enjoyable. Sometimes the end of the game can sneak up on players. Yesterday when I refreshed during the game, I was able to gain 6 light all at once, and I already had 11 light. So that sort of surprised people. I only needed 3 more, and I was able to complete my goal, which was controlling 3 yellow planets, which helped me get 3 more light and the game. Now, Last Light is coming from Gray Fox Games, and they're launching it on Gamefound, which is a crowdfunding platform similar to Kickstarter, but Gamefound is more dedicated to the tabletop industry. I'll put a link to the campaign in the description below. And we'd love for you to hit that like button on this video. It really helps our channel out, and please subscribe.